Gender inequality in the cultural sector supports a system which robs both men and women of their right to express themselves in a way that feels right to them. It is a system that tells men that they must hide their emotions, and women that what they look like is the most important thing about them. Growing up, I was always rebelling against my parents, against school, against anything I felt told me what to do. But what I missed was an entire system which was telling me who I should be. That in order to be accepted, I should look and act a certain way. If I could go back, I would rebel against that system.
Players were also asked if they're keeping to play through concussion symptoms. So 1 in 4 said they kept playing with concussion symptoms, and the scary part about this is 42% of those who kept playing don't remember the remainder of the game. So it's important to see, like, if you keep on playing through this, how are you helping your team after the event? It's quite scary that you can't actually remember what happened. So this picture just illustrates a Cork Camogie player who won the All-Ireland and gave a winning speech after, but has no recollection of giving that speech, so she doesn't remember what she said due to suffering from a concussion. So then I get asked, why secondary school age athletes? So why should I educate you guys on concussion? So secondary school age athletes are more likely to suffer concussion. So you guys would be at a higher risk to suffer concussion than college-age athletes, which most people don't know. But you're also at more risk for the long-term health consequences associated with it, and would take longer to recover than older athletes.
So this has led to many researchers asking, well, why are they getting injured? And is there anything we can do to prevent these injuries? And in previous research, most of the time, they'll bring runners into the lab, and they'll get them to run on a treadmill for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and we get really rich data from it, but it's not at all reflective of what runners do. When you go out the weekend to get your coffee, you see people running in the park. Park run is now massive in Ireland. People run when they're happy and they run when they're stressed. And they run anywhere from 25 minutes up to 3 hours. And this is not what you get from lab data. So we looked further into the research and we actually identified stride time as a parameter of interest in running. Now stride time is when you hit your heel on the ground and then you put your foot back down and you hit it again. That's what that time is. And to put it into further context, when we walk with short steps like this guy here, you have a short stride time. But when we walk with long steps like Phoebe and Friends, you've got a long stride time. And both of these are really easy to see by just looking at someone. But running and walking are both really complex tasks. And they require us to interact with our outside environment, whether we're running on snow, in grass or in parks. And they also require us to interact with how our bodies feel. So if our muscles get tired, or if we get cramp, or if we're just not motivated. And these actually all impact our stride time.
Some Dublin taxis were using green lights on top of their yellow taxi bars to indicate to potential customers and to other taxi drivers that the driver was Irish. In an article to the Irish Times, the taxi drivers and their representatives argued it was another form of advertisement when the yellow light bar wasn't fully visible during sunny days or other weather conditions. Only this year, a couple of months ago, a Dublin-based radio station was also accused of racial discrimination. They received 2 job applications, one with the surname Jalal, which was the individual's true surname, and the other surname on the dummy application, Neville, a more Irish or English sounding name. The radio station took the Neville application and invited the person for an interview. The Jalal application was never accepted. In sociology, where I'm based, this is what we refer to as resume wiping, and has been talked about for years. Institutional racism itself has been a focus of sociology since the dawn of the subject.
Approximately 1 in 2 of us will be affected by some type of cancer in our lifetime. And bladder cancer is one of these, which some of us may end up having to suffer with at some point. So it's the 4th most common cancer in men, and it's the 9th most common cancer in women. It affects almost 80,000 people every single year diagnosed with this disease in the United States. And approximately 16,000 people die from it every year. And very interestingly, and I suppose the thing that makes bladder cancer stand out from others is that it has the single highest recurrence rate of any cancer. And this means that patients go into the clinic, they get diagnosed, they get treated, the cancer is removed, but maybe a month down the line, maybe 6 years down the line, but at some point that cancer will most likely recur. And the NHS, for example, spend £55 million every single year just on bladder cancer patients. That's a phenomenal amount of their budget that can be spent elsewhere. So we really are trying to develop something which can cut costs for everybody involved. I'm not sure if any of you know how bladder cancer is actually diagnosed. Well, it's currently diagnosed with a cystoscopy procedure. This involves passing an endoscope through the urethra into the bladder. So an endoscope is a fibre optic tube with a camera on the end. The doctor inserts it into the urethra and has to look around the bladder to see if there's anything questionable going on in there. And just so you can see what that actually looks like. It's an incredibly uncomfortable procedure. Nobody wants this. You definitely don't want it every 3 to 6 months for the rest of your life. It's obviously invasive, uncomfortable, unpleasant, but it's also very expensive and time consuming. This takes a lot of time for a doctor to come in here, maybe 30-40 minutes per patient, and they're going through hundreds of these. And we really need to get something better. Obviously, because it takes so long, there are huge waiting lists to actually get one of these procedures. And patients can sometimes be on waiting lists for 6 months, 12 months. This leads to huge diagnostic delays, and which is a huge impact for the patients involved. If somebody's waiting 12 months before they get seen to that cancer is possibly spread and is no longer treatable, we have to get this seen to quicker. You might ask, well, is there anything better? I really don't want to do that. It's very uncomfortable. It's taking too much time. There is an alternative, which is called urine cytology. And it's where they take bladder cells that naturally shed into the urine. They take that, they look at them on your slide, and this is kind of what it looks like. These are 6 different examples of patient samples that are looked at in the hospital. So a doctor sits down with a microscope and he tries to see whether or not he can see cancer cells. Approximately 70% of the time the doctor will not see them. And this is purely because the early stage cancers are the ones that are really easy treated, look very, very similar to normal cells. So if it's not very good, they really have to go ahead with the cystoscopy procedures. And this is where my research really takes off, is that I seen all of this and I learned everything that was currently going on in the hospital. And I asked, well, what can I do to make this better? I started looking at different technologies, and I came across Raman laser technology. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's where you shine a laser at something, and you get a rainbow of colours coming back. It's the technology that's currently used in airports. If you ever had your clothes swabbed to test for narcotics, it's the same technology that they use to try and determine whether or not those chemicals are present. So in order to try and bring this technology, the Raman laser technology, along with the standard urine cytology together, we had to build our own system, consisting of laser and lenses and optics. And for those who study physics, they may be aware of diagrams like this. And what we do is we shine the laser at every single cell on our slide, and we get a spectrum which looks something like this. We apply really complicated computer algorithms and statistics to look at these, and we end up getting a colored barcode for every single cell. What we've discovered is that different types of cells have slightly different barcodes from each other. So for example, a normal cell is different barcode to a low-grade cancer, which is different to a high-grade cancer, which is then different to all the other subtypes that you may have going on in there. So based on our initial results, and we really are still in the very early stages of developing this device, we've discovered that we can detect 95% of cancer cells that are in a urine sample. This means we miss about 5%. The doctor misses 70%. So we've got such a huge achievement there.